What happened in Nigeria on a Palm Sunday is deeply painful. It is devastating. It is heartbreaking. 40 people were died and many were injured. And I begin to ask myself question. What would the prophet of the old do? What is Nigerian pastor doing? Will the prophet of old keep quiet? Will the prophet of old just tweet and be political about it? Will the prophet of old pretend not to hear or not to see what happened? Will the prophet of old do, oh, it's not my business, and move forward? Will they keep quiet? Second Samuel chapter 12, verse 7. We see Nathan the prophet. He confronted David for injustice. And he said to him, you are the one. He was not afraid of what David would do to him. He does not want to be in David's good book. He was not doing lip service. He did not keep quiet when David committed that crime. He did not keep quiet for the injustice of that poor man that David died. When leaders failed and people are suffering, the prophet of old, they will speak boldly, even to power. They will speak to the government officials. You have a lot of government officials in your church. What are you telling them? Most of these government people came to your church for campaign, and they will still come for 2027. And that's what you want. Elijah stood against King Ahab and national corruption. 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 18. Elijah stood up. He went to meet Ahab and told him, what you did to Nathan was wrong. He spoke without fear. He was not afraid of telling the king the truth. In Nigeria, pastors were bragging, I pray for this one to be in government. And you see what is happening in Nigeria, you're keeping mute. You are playing politics with people's lives. Christians are being pied every day. Nigerian people are being pied every day. You turn a deaf ear. You pretend not to hear. The next thing you start telling people, let us pray. You will not speak against the ills of that government. We can deceive human beings, but we can't deceive God. Why I'm bringing this to you guys' notice is that maybe you've not heard. And let me remind you that the prophets of the old will not keep quiet. Amos spoke against oppression and injustice in society. Amos 5:24. Elijah challenged a corrupt system publicly. So don't tell us you're doing things inside. Challenge government of their corruption. Challenge them about the insecurity in Nigeria. Are you waiting for it to happen in your church before you speak out? Those northern places that it happened, we can speak for them. Most of the people in government are your pastors. They are your followers. They are your members. Most of them come to your church. During election, we'll start seeing them in your churches. You give them front chair. You start quoting Bible for us. You give them special seats. It's no longer about salvation. True prophet, true pastor will not keep quiet when people are suffering. True prophet, true pastor will not sit on the fence when people are suffering. The New Testament disciples, they will speak up. They speak even under threat. Acts chapter 4, verse 19 to 20. Peter the apostle and John the apostle. We cannot but speak the things which we've seen and heard. They were warned by government authority, but they refused silence. You hear what is happening in Nigeria. You hear the crying of Christians. You hear the crying of people. You hear the insecurity. You hear the hunger in Nigeria. You hear no light in Nigeria, no road, but you're keeping quiet. And that's why a lot of you people will not tell your members to read Bible. You're sitting on the fence. Some of people will just run, go and tweet. Oh, let me tweet. Oh, let me write. So that, but you know what you're doing. May I remind you guys what happened to Eli? The early church, they did not keep quiet, even when it cost their lives. Paul, in Acts chapter 20, verse 26 to 27, Paul spoke truth publicly. He was imprisoned, he was beaten, and he still continued. These days, in the altar, I'm building houses, I'm doing this, I have watches, I have this one, I have this one. People are being pied in a country where you are a pastor, in a country where you are a prophet, and you're keeping quiet. The early church were being persecuted. They were being pied. They were being imprisoned. Yet, there are things that was visible. There were things that they did not overlook. They spoke truth boldly. Acts chapter 9, verse 29. Because they obey God rather than men, they always speak the truth boldly. They prayed earnestly. Not the one you pray on the internet so that people will not say you don't talk. They helped and supported one another. The northern people, how many of you have reached out to the pastors there? How many of you have sent